In the last video, I said, stay tuned for a video from Cebu. I said those words, I heard myself say those words, I left those words in the edit, and then I didn't do anything. We spent 3 days at a resort, and what I have to show for that is one picture of the resort, a picture of the club sandwich that I get traditionally once per Asia trip. It wasn't bad. A picture of Kat with the Jollibee bee, and for some reason, a picture of this roast chicken restaurant. But after our relaxation time, Kat had to head home, and I came into the city. Once I got into the city, I mostly did what I do whenever I'm in Cebu. I walked around a really pretty unwalkable city, really for any reason I can think of, no matter how dumb. Such as right now, walking 20 minutes in the blazing morning heat. My weather app says it's 30 degrees, and it is wrong, to get a second coffee. And I do that until I get heat stroke. And then I'll do it again tomorrow and the day after that. And I don't know, I love it. Actually, on a related note, I had always thought clothes came in kind of two categories, clean and dirty. On this trip, Kat and I realized there's a third category. It's not even dirty yet, when clothes are so sweaty and so damp that you can't put them in your laundry bag until they dry. You have to lay them out, then they can be dirty. Good times. I don't know if it's relevant to anybody who's watching this, but if it is, Good Cup is by far the best coffee shop in Cebu. Give it a shot. Update on the weather app, by the way. It says it's currently 31, but it also in tiny font beside that says it feels like 37. That feels right. I gave a talk at the University of the Philippines, Cebu, which I've done before and was my kind of flimsy excuse to be in the city after Kat had gone home. I think the talk went well, it was well received, but I mean, if we're honest, it's not like they were just gonna tell me if they thought I sucked. But I like my colleagues there. It was nice to see them. It was nice to be back on campus there. So thanks, UP. I have a bit of a quest while traveling of finding either good or interesting local liquor. That can sometimes be hard in Southeast Asia because all too often Johnny Walker Black is filling the niche of good. So the local distilleries kind of end up trying to hit a price point below that and compete in there, and their results aren't great. This trip, I went to a store called Cultura, which sort of highlights local products, and I found a mother lode. I got a flavored Don Papa rum that I managed to find a sample of and was actually quite nice. I got a calamansi liqueur that we've had before and I know is great to have around. I managed to find lambuang, that is distilled coconut wine. The locals drink tuba, which is a quick fermented coconut wine, beer, whatever you'd call it. That gets fermented into lambuang. I've never tried that before. Hopefully it's good. And I found a whole collection of little tasters that are strewn about my luggage. Hopefully those survive the trip. Hopefully my luggage doesn't smell like gin when I get home, and I'll find some gems. Well, bad news. The lambuang, the coconut alcohol, the cap is not right. I don't really want to put that in my checked luggage. On the subject of luggage, I was kind of worried about everything fitting, but it's actually gone pretty well, especially considering I have, I think, a little more than 2 liters of distilled spirits in there. I've got pretty much the clothes I'm wearing and a few toiletries to go in there, but I think we're good. Cappy's going carry-on. I didn't want him in there with a lambuang. Longtime viewers will remember my favorite weird local dive bar with karaoke that's too loud. I took Eugene there last year. We were comped some appetizers that were received gratefully. It's changed owners. It looks a little different. It's still got the unbelievably loud karaoke. And, well, it's my last night in Cebu, so I'm gonna go have a red horse and listen to people sing karaoke at different skill levels. This is exciting. I think this is my 3rd time here on this trip, and I was brought my beer without asking. I'm a regular.
my summary of going to this bar. 50% of the time or so, I go there and I have a beer, and the beer is cheap and everything is kind of normal. 50% of the time, something happens. I've been there with Eugene and got like weird appetizers with more shrimp paste than any human being should ever consume. Last night I was there, and a dude that came in at 10 o'clock, and I was already pretty drunk. As I was leaving, we sort of crossed paths, and he looked at me, not at the waitress, not at like the bar in general. He looked at me and said, "Bathroom?" I guess that was like a mission statement. I don't know if he was telling me I should go to the bathroom. I didn't have to. I don't know if that's too much information. Tonight I was there, and there was another white guy, which has literally never happened before. So I started talking to him. Turns out he's an art instructor at a college in California working remotely. Filipino wife. A couple of her cousins are there. And I'm going to say the cousins maybe didn't have a lot of experience with alcohol. Certainly the youngest one. And she was a hoot. They cut her off at probably the last possible moment before they had to clean anything up later. But it was a good time. I like it there. I still like Cebu. I still find it really hard to express why. But I fly out tomorrow morning, and I don't know. Hopefully I'll have some conclusion from the airport.
The goal for this morning was to be moving at 6 o'clock. It's 5:45. And I just got to check the traffic to see if I have time for a quick bite at the hotel here at 6 o'clock when breakfast opens, or if I'm going straight to the airport. Let's see. I've never had a whole hotel breakfast buffet to myself before.
About an hour delay taking off in Cebu left my closer than I would like it connection much closer than I would like it. But I'm in Narita. My flight has not yet boarded. Nobody's mad at me. I had a chance to fill up my water bottle and go to the bathroom even. Doing good. Next stop, Vancouver. So I didn't film anything in the Cebu airport. Bit of a flight delay and a short connection put other stuff in my mind, so I just didn't get to it. Now, I'm back in Vancouver. Thank you for joining us on the Asia 2025 adventure. I guess a question I get once in a while from people is, why do you keep going to Asia? And I mean, there's a couple reasons. One of them is practical. I never get a week or two vacation. I have a non-teaching semester or I don't. So if I have a 4-month stretch of time when I'm not working, I don't want to take a 2-week vacation, and I can't afford to live in Europe for a month. We can afford to travel in Asia for a month and kind of hang around, and things are cheap and cheerful, and we have a good time. So why do we keep going to the Philippines? Well, I guess somehow, even though I was born in Canada, I'm happier at 30 degrees than I am at 3 degrees. There's beaches everywhere, but the locals don't go to them because the ocean is where poor fishermen go. We live in the city now, come on. Also, the Philippines is full of Filipino people, which is a pretty big selling point, to be honest. And why Cebu in particular? Well, something I've realized about myself over the years is I tend to always like the second biggest city. Vancouver, not Toronto. Cebu and not Manila. For that matter, Burnaby and not Vancouver. Somehow the size and the vibe in Cebu just seems to fit me better. It's big enough that sort of everything you want is there. It's not so big like Manila that getting to that thing is a hassle and it's too far away. It's just a nice place to be. Of course, I've been hanging around with the University of the Philippines in Cebu for a couple of years. They're just a cool place to be. Something about the university, the faculty, they're doing good with what they've got, and I like hanging out there too. So do I have a conclusion? I mean, not really. We had a good trip. I'm glad to be back. One thing I will say, this trip, even the last few years, I haven't really had vacation fatigue. I think the first few long trips we went on, by the time we went home, I was really ready to come home. This time, I could have traveled for another week or two quite happily, but reality calls. Kat's got to get back to work. I've got some courses to teach in, boy, not that long. So the channel's going to be a bit quieter for a little while because
the average day-to-day going to work doesn't make good video content, but I'm sure we'll post here soon sometime whenever we're doing something a little bit more visually interesting. Bye all.